there, everyone. Welcome to Blue Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host, Hefty Duck. And as always, we always invite people to come on the show. Whether if they do or don't, that's a different story. But there's always next time if they don't come on. You know, maybe we'll get a surprise appearance from like Wyan or Ian or Harry or someone else. But anyways, on today's show, we're going to be the main part of our show. We'll be doing first half MVPs for the Blue Jackets. The first half of the season for the Blue Jackets has come and gone. Who did well? Who are the MVPs for the Blue Jackets? We're going to talk about that. Zach Werenski gets the gold medal at the Olympics playing for Team USA Hockey. That was pretty cool, and we're going to talk about that. That's some, Blue Jackets prospect Jackson Smith scores a big goal for Penn State. I watched 2 Ohio State hockey games against Penn State, so I'm going to review that. Some Big Ten hockey standings. And so much more. So welcome to the show, everyone.
Welcome in. And we have a special...
Harry, let's go! Harry! My guy, Harry, with the awesome surprise guest appearance. Welcome to the show, Harry. My guy, Harry, the awesome, the legendary Diamond Dog champion. My guy, Harry, who also has awesome Twitter spaces. Welcome to the show, Harry.
Welcome.
Oh no, he's muted.
Oh, we'll give you a second here. While you're doing that, I'm just going to remind everyone to like, share, subscribe wherever you're watching from. Check us out on Twitter if you're on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube if you're on Twitter. We appreciate all the support out there. We don't sell products. We don't do ad reads. So any sort of like and share, it's the best way to support us. Anyway, there's that.
Yeah, don't forget, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please tell your family. Please tell your friends. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. One last thing before we get going here. Don't forget, don't forget to check out Union Blue Soldiers. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. A fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I run. So that's it for now. Harry, how you doing? Are you able to talk now? Oh no, he's still muted. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my goodness.
That is the way she goes.
Oh no.
Whenever you figure it out, give us a shout.
Yeah. we saw Harry's cat that was just in there, so
As I'm sure we're going to talk a little Olympic hockey as well.
All right, so oh boy. Okay. Harry, you know what, Harry? How about come back in, restart your computer, maybe that'll work that way or something. I don't know. Or maybe join on your phone, do something. Oh, technical difficulties with Harry, our good friend Harry. All right. Cool. Well, maybe Harry will come back and we'll get him back in here and he can talk. Anyways. So before we get, let's start off with a little more something fun, So I'm going to put something up on the screen that is a little fun. And so we're going to put this up on the screen because I think this is fun. So look at this. We got Hefty Duck doing a tattoo at the tattoo convention up in Cleveland. How cool is this?
Oh, yeah. It was really cool for them to, hey, we got another guest with us today. What's up, Wyan? How's it going?
Hey, what up, guys?
Not much. We were just doing some fun stuff before we get into the cool, like the meat of it today, as Kevin likes to say.
All right.
And,
so,
yeah, as Kevin was saying, this is me at the Cleveland Cleveland Arts Tattoo Festival. Cleveland, it's the Villain Arts Tattoo Convention up in Cleveland this last weekend, and I had a blast. I was tattooing this guy who had he just walking around with the camera and stuff like that, and I asked him if he was working today, and he's like, "No, not really," and then ended up getting featured on the actual.
All right. Okay, Harry, try again. Can you talk?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah!
I'm doing this on my phone. I have no idea why I didn't work on my laptop. I probably can't stay too long, but I definitely wanted to be in here for this one after yesterday's epic event.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
What?
Now we lost Kevin.
So yeah, yesterday was pretty freaking sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. Anyway, if you'd like to support me, check me out, Lance Schrock Tattoos on Instagram. You can find me out wherever and whatnot. So yeah, thanks, Kev, for the shout out. Yeah, yesterday, what a hell of a game. It's something that we can all Wyand's a Bruins fan. Doesn't matter what sort of NHL fan you are. If you're an American, we all are rooting for the same team. And that's just something special, especially too when you get to see someone from the team you root for in the NHL out there killing it like Zach Werenski was. But Harry, what are your thoughts on the game yesterday?
I mean, that was just so incredible. It's probably one of the best hockey games I've ever watched. I mean, obviously the meaning of it, going for gold, representing your country, a world stage, just was so amazing. Getting up early, 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that was something as well. Though I was there in 14, not there at the Olympics, but at the R Bar in 14 for a watch party. That was early in the morning as well.
Did they serve that early? Did they serve alcohol that early?
They served alcohol that early. Yes, they did.
I mean,
full bar, full kitchen, full everything. But I decided to watch this one at home, and what a game. I mean, just the whole excitement of it, the thrill of it. I think this is going to be great as far as stimulating interest in the NHL again, heading towards the playoffs. But yeah, it was such a nail biter. Unfortunately, it seemed like in the third period it tilted the Canadiens' way as far as the ice. But Hellebuck, I mean, when they come in the Nationwide, obviously you're going to root against them, but it's just going to be hard for me for the rest of my life to have any animosity towards him. The way he played yesterday, the way he stood on his head was just amazing. I mean, he's really, as far as I'm concerned, he's the MVP of that team.
Yep.
The MVP of the Olympics as far as the hockey tournament. Just an amazing, amazing job by him. Just, it was incredible. And, Nathan McKinnon can say whatever he wants, and I'm sure it's frustration after losing, but obviously the USA was the better team. They were the better team. Scoreboard, they won. And yeah, you may have better talent, but yesterday the USA team was the better team.
And what Harry just said there was a good point. There is that I've been watching just different videos on Facebook and Twitter about this. Is that that the way that USA made their hockey team was specifically made to beat a team like Canada, to have a more balanced approach instead of what Canada did, which is we're just going to throw all the offense out there and just see how it goes. Now, they did have some good defensemen out there too, Canada did, but their more focus was on the more offensive guys. The McKinnon, the Crosby, the McDavid, stuff like that. Whereas if you look at what America did, there was a more well-balanced approach where you had a little bit more both offense and defense.
And grit.
And attitude, and be able to just grind it out and have some toughness. And in the end, when you put all those things together, that's a big reason why America is where they are right now as the, gold medal, winning the gold medal and champions of the Olympics.
And another thing before I forget, I want to say is we all may be divided, and unfortunately, as a country, we are pretty divided. But something like yesterday, and I think even Mike Tirico made a point regarding this with his little wrap up, is that this unites us
Yes.
as a country, and it gives us something to rally around. And that's a good thing nowadays. It's a good thing to see people rallying around this team, rallying around what happened. Just seeing people happy for the USA. And like I said, no, whatever your politics are, that's fine. But yesterday was such a great thing. So I guess I'm still kind of speechless about it. Just sort of in amazement about it. It was such a great thing.
I absolutely agree with
And
you.
hopefully this is the beginning of something too, where we don't have to wait another 46 years for another gold medal. Hopefully this continues. Hopefully the NHL will continue to allow their players to be in the Olympic hockey tournament as well.
Yeah, that's huge.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think the players are gonna want it now. Like the whole CDA thing. I'm pretty sure. But
now
the
Kevin
one thing
Fiala didn't help that
No.
argument at all. Unfortunately,
that's the only that's the only bad thing. But
Harry, I do believe that there is some the way because I've looked at this within the last 10 years. You look at the numbers and where the trends are going in terms of who actual hockey players and where they're from in the NHL.
Right.
It used to be 80 to 90% of that was just Canadian, and then the other however much that was, it was like, oh, here's an American, or here's a Russian, or a Swede, someone who's from Sweden, or someone like that. But now you look at it now, the Americans are now going up as high as 23 to 25%, and they're starting to eat into that. And then the Russians are getting bigger numbers, and the Swedes and every other nationality that isn't Canadian is taking a big chunk out of that Canadian thing, and the trend is starting to go towards other countries besides just Canada.
Well, another thing I listened to, which hit me today, actually on the Jim Rome show, they were talking to Al Michaels, and he brought up that it used to be even the American players, they were going to be from Boston, from the Northeast. Now you're hearing players from like Austin Matthews, Scottsdale, Arizona, players from California, players from all across the United States now, not just in the Northeast. And that's also the impact this has made. And hopefully this impact will continue. And it's just, with the 4 nations last year, what we had with the Olympic hockey tournament is just such a great thing for the NHL and for hockey. And quite honestly, when you compare it to the all-star events for other leagues, it just blows it away. I mean, there's nothing like this. I mean, you have players that are teammates normally out there getting physical with each other. And you're not going to see that in the NBA All-Star game. Obviously, you don't see that in the Pro Bowl. There is no Pro Bowl. They don't even have an actual football game anymore. So it's just so unique, and it's so great to see, and it's just amazing. And it's wonderful.
I would agree. I would agree with that. How do you think Zach Werenski did, Harry?
Oh, well, he did fantastic. I mean, obviously, he had a great tournament, and setting up that game-winning goal. I mean, obviously, that's a great. I just hope. I heard something where he said something. He's going to let a few people touch the medal, and he's going to put it in a vault. I hope Zach will be at least willing to share it, at least to maybe hold it up on the ice before a Blue Jacket game some night, or maybe even Saturday night, to at least show it off to the people in attendance. Obviously, we're not going to touch it, or be near it, but hopefully we'll get a glimpse of it. Unfortunately, I probably won't be at the game Saturday, but hopefully, even seeing it on TV, we'll be able to see him showing off that gold medal.
That'd be sick.
I know. Harry, I do want to, because we are talking about some first half MVPs for the Blue Jackets. So since you're here, I do want to get you in here and name some players this season that have been MVPs for the first half of the season.
Well, I think Zach, obviously. I mean, he's first and foremost. I mean, once you get past Zach's name, it's hard for me to think of somebody else. I mean, Kent Johnson, since the coaching change, which really doesn't really put him in MVP conversation, but since the coaching change, he has really stepped his game up.
Yep.
And I'm always going to lead towards my guy, Matthew Olivier.
Yep.
I don't know. Well, I mean, being tough and being physical, I think that gets you some MVP consideration. I mean, nobody's going to F with him. I mean, that's been, that has been established. No one is going to mess with Matthew Olivier.
No.
So there you go. I guess those are my three right off the top of my head. And Jet, though Elvis, Elvis stepped his game up after the coaching change too, it seems like.
Yep.
That's really done him a world of good.
Like he's played a little bit more too.
Yeah. I think Bonus wants that to happen. He wants it more of a 50-50 situation as opposed to when it seemed like Jet was getting most of the work before the change.
Yeah. And I was critical of that. It's like, I know Elvis Merzlikins has had his issues, but there's times where he's really good and he takes over games and the Blue Jackets win because of that. So it's like you had to give him some starts. And my thing is, it's like I was worried that they were, to kind of use a baseball metaphor, I was worried that, like, in baseball, where it's like you use your bullpen so much and then it gets towards the end of the season and you need your bullpen and you can't use it because you tired them out. I was thinking that was going to be the same thing with Jet Greaves, the way that Dean Evison and the Blue Jackets were playing Jet Greaves, where he was getting just about every game. And I was saying, man, we're going to tire him out, and then the end of the season's going to come, and we're going to need him, and we can't use him because we used him too much. So, like, you had to get some games with Elvis Merzlikins, and I like now that it's been, like you said, Harry, it's a little more.
Yeah, I like the approach that's going on, and I think Elvis is a good goaltender. Is he an elite goaltender? No. Probably not, but he is a good goaltender, and for him just to sit there and rust away, that's not a good thing, especially as you're in the playoff hunt. Unfortunately, guys, I probably do have to go, but I just wanted to make sure after yesterday's gold medal game, I really wanted to check in and just say what a great event that was. I was 14 years old in 80, so, I do remember watching it, but I got to be honest, I think what happened yesterday actually has more of an impact on me than what happened in 80. I think that was one for the ages. So I was happy I woke up. I'm happy I got up early enough to watch that. It was great. Just so great.
No, I agree with that. When's your next Blue Jackets game, Harry?
Next Blue Jacket game is March 5th. March 5th. I'd love to be there Saturday, but unfortunately I'm probably not going to make it. Yeah. But that should be an electric atmosphere at Nationwide Arena Saturday evening.
Yeah. Well, the game you're going to March 5th is going to be Ohio State night.
Oh, is it? Well, I don't have a special ticket, so whatever they're giving away, I'm probably not getting. But that's fine. I really don't care. As long as I'm there, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great stretch run. I think they have the firepower, and hopefully they can continue the momentum they had into the break. Hopefully that continues.
I want to say one last thing before you get out of here, Harry, and then you can get out of here. So you pointed to something which I agree with, is that how it used to be a certain amount of guys that were only from a certain part of America that played hockey,
right?
And now that you have Austin Matthews, he's from Arizona. Why? Because he started going to Coyotes games. The Coyotes obviously don't exist, but like that's a bigger reason why he got into hockey. And you have people from like Florida, and even you look at the
Columbus.
Yes, I was about to get there. You look at the impact of what the Blue Jackets did by coming to Columbus, is that it forever changed the narrative on how people view Columbus. Instead of just a cowtown image of, oh, that's cute, you like Ohio State, okay, that's fun. Columbus, what's that? I don't know what that is. Let's go to Cincinnati or Cleveland.
Right.
That is long gone now because of the Blue Jackets. They've changed Columbus for the better. So, billions of dollars to the local economy and so much more. That's all this stuff that's fun to do in Columbus because of the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets and the crew and the Clippers and the bars and the restaurants, all this stuff that started because of the Blue Jackets, and because of the Blue Jackets have come to Columbus, how much more people have gotten interested into hockey because of the Blue Jackets, the explosion of youth hockey programs in Columbus and just hockey in general, whether that be with the Blue Jackets, even more people have gotten interested with Ohio State hockey because of the Blue Jackets, Columbus in general, Jack Rosovic, Sean Corrali, two guys who are from Columbus, played in the Blue Jackets youth hockey program. And they're now in the NHL, but they've also played for the Blue Jackets. So like there is something to be said there about how important it is to have hockey in all sorts of different places instead of your stereotypical New York, Boston, Canada, wherever, because you have all these guys that all coming from all over the place and they're now playing hockey, and that's so positive and has so much positive effects on America and hockey culture.
Well, also too, and before I leave, just even though he's not from Columbus, he's playing in Columbus, and hopefully people will remember that name, Zach Werenski, from the Olympic hockey tournament. And once again, hey, Columbus Blue Jacket, maybe they'll start tuning in, start following the Blue Jackets, and get a little more pub for the city, the capital city. So we'll see. And I'm looking forward to this stretch run. Looking forward to it. So thanks again, guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you guys have a great show, rest of the show, and thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you, Harry. Thank you. Hey, plug your stuff, Harry.
Well, I don't really have any stuff. At Harry from Cbus on X. That's pretty much it.
You got your Twitter spaces too.
Well, the Twitter spaces. Yeah. If you ever see a Twitter space at Harry from Cbus, just come in and listen to a bunch of nonsense. But Kevin's usually part of it. So there you go. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. Hopefully I've figured this out, how to leave properly from my phone, but.
All right. So before we get going, so let's see here. We got, I know who this is. This is Taylor. So Coop, we got Harry was definitely slipping on some White Claws on the Sunday for the gold medal game. No, he wasn't, because he doesn't like White Claws. I know you're just giving him shit. Let's see here. We got the Canadians are soft. Yes, they are. Tom Wilson has grit. He does, but in a bad way. And let's see here. If you want Taylor again, if you wanted the Canadians to win, you were the enemy. Yes. Let's see here. Kevin is upset the Russians wasn't allowed in the tournament. I think they should have been in. It would have been cool to see like Kirill Kaprizov and like Kirill Marchenko play for Russia, but whatever. The IOC, which is what controls the Olympics, needs to stop the sportsmanship rules and let the guys fight. They aren't children. I agree. The Robo Buck says he was almost free back in 1980. And the Robo Buck says later Harry. So yes. Wine, I want to get you in here. So do you have anything to say about what we've been talking about so far?
I mean, Harry really wasn't on that, I think, but yeah, it was an amazing game for USA Hockey. It shows how far they've come recently. Yeah, the game itself was just fantastic from start to finish. I mean, the Matt Boldy goal was really sick in the first period. Then we kind of hold on because Connor Hellebuck turned into modern day Jim Craig in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, good on the Americans for winning their first gold since 1980. I mean,
right.
I wasn't even alive for that gold medal, so it's the first time I've seen them win gold.
You're right. What did you see from Charlie McAvoy? Why?
Oh yeah, he was amazing that game. I mean, he literally saved a goal from going in. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, he was, he didn't, I don't think he had any points that tournament, but that's why he was there. He was there to shut down the opposition, and he did his job very well.
Right. So that's good. Do you know how David Pasternak did in the Olympics?
Yeah, he had 5 points in 5 games, but unfortunately, Czechia just didn't have the depth. Yeah,
Fair.
Czechia just didn't have the depth to go very far, unfortunately, even though it was pretty close for the Canadian game.
Yeah. So that was good. That was good. So I know. I think that was good. The Olympics were cool. Zach Werenski, awesome. I got some pictures to share, and then after that, we'll get going to the first half MVPs. So first off, some pictures that we'll share. First off, this is what the Blue Jackets posted when USA won the gold medal. It's a picture of Zach Werenski holding the American flag and the state of Ohio in the background. And it says, "Congrats, Zach Werenski." So pretty cool picture.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
Yes. Next up. Now, I want to share the video from the goal that got the Americans the gold medal, but I'm not going to do it because NBC is being a bunch of idiots who are being way too copyright infringement happy, because they are whacking people with copyright, even though in some cases it is not deserved. I've seen people, give good commentary where like they pause the video, talk about it, and then they unpause the video, play the video, and then say more commentary, pause it again, including us on our show last week. And NBC, you suck. You can suck it, idiots, for taking down our show, even though it was not copyright. Because we played Zach Werenski's goal at the Olympics, and it was awesome. And we paused the video, and we talked about it. We gave some commentary, and even when the video was playing, we turned off the sound, and we gave video and commentary. So get out of here with this, it's copyright BS. And, that's a big reason why our show is not on YouTube, and you can't see it. It's on Twitter and other places, which is good. But the main reason we like doing this, so we can have it on YouTube for people to watch it, because most people like watching it on YouTube. Stupid NBC.
Rewatches anyway, for sure.
Stupid NBC. Go screw yourself. But anyways, that's besides the point. So
you know where it didn't get taken down? Check out our audio on Spotify, Google, Apple, wherever we are at. We do have an audio version of it up as well all the time. And you can rewatch it on Twitter. It's a little bit more of a pain in the ass, but that's why we get more rewatches on YouTube anyway. But yeah.
Yes.
But we're still available. We're still out there.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find the Jack Hughes goal anyways pretty easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you can find it, but I wanted to play on the show, but no, because derp copyright. So NBC being stupid. But so this is the best of what I can do. This is because in that video, you will find that Zach Werenski makes a big play to help set up the goal. He's a big reason why the goal even happens to begin with, because there's a puck battle kind of by the boards, and Zach Werenski wins that puck battle by beating Nathan McKinnon, and he gives him a good hit. The puck pops loose. Zach Werenski gets the puck, and then he quickly passes it over to Jack Hughes, and then Jack Hughes shoots the puck and scores. This would be a lot better if I could show you the video so you could understand it, but like Wyan said, it's out there. Go find it, but I still would have liked to shown it, but no, NBC with their dumb copyright. So anyways, this is the best that I can do right here. It's a screenshot of Zach Werenski making a big play to help set up the goal.
Speaking of Spotify.
Yes, hi. Doing a show.
Oh, sorry. Adios.
Yeah, bye. Yeah. See? Do you see it?
Yeah.
Do you see
Whoa.
it? There it is. See? There you go.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
We won because of the ghost of Johnny Gaudreau. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's another thing I forgot to bring up was
Okay, so yeah. There you go. That was my dad who I just talked to on the phone. And he says that he believes they won because of the ghost of Johnny Gaudreau. And you know what? I think there's some truth to that. But anyways, Wyan, get in here because you're going to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot to bring up the fact that, you know, part of the reason that USA Hockey is so far is because of Johnny Gaudreau. I mean,
Yeah.
he did a lot for this current generation. Yeah, he helped bring eyes to. He inspired so many young hockey players, and he still does to this day. So, you know, good on Johnny Gaudreau for bringing USA Hockey this far and being there for the gold medal.
I agree. All right, so there's that. All right, next up, we got more pictures to share. So, sticking with the whole Johnny Gaudreau theme, nothing wrong with Skillet. Oh my goodness, you heard that ringtone, RoboBuck? My goodness. Okay, well, I guess my phone was loud enough.
Copyright claim for that. I'm kidding.
Oh
it's less than 30 seconds. It's fine.
Yeah. No, so my phone was so loud they heard the ringtone. Just for, it's Hero by Skillet. If you're wondering, that was the ringtone. Anyways, that's besides the point. But continue with the Johnny Gaudreau theme. Here we go. After the Americans win the gold medal, they go get a Johnny Gaudreau jersey and they hold it up. And they're skating all around the ice with the Johnny Gaudreau jersey, and it was awesome. And of course, there's Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk, as well as Zach Werenski.
Yeah, both teammates of Johnny Gaudreau.
Yes. So
very cool.
There's that. Next up, we're gonna put this up on the screen here. Is we have some more pictures to share. Again, continuing with the whole Johnny Gaudreau theme. This is again after the game. The Blue Jackets posted these pictures. So again, there's more pictures of USA Hockey team winning the game with a Johnny Gaudreau jersey. So there's one picture. Let's see. This is okay. This one, not only do we have the Johnny Gaudreau jersey, we also have that everyone holding up a number 1 sign with their finger. We have them with the gold medals. We got Austin Matthews with an American flag. And we also have 2 of Johnny Gaudreau's kids, his daughter, as well as his son. Johnny Gaudreau has 3 kids, but the other one's kind of, that one's a little too young, probably a little too young to be over in Italy, so he stayed home. But two of the 3 of Johnny Gaudreau's kids also in the picture. So pretty cool moment there for the American hockey team.
Yeah, that was right around the time someone started cutting onions in my house.
Damn right. What a moment.
Yeah, thought that was really cool. Thought that was really, really cool that they included him here too, because they did it with the Four Nations face-off. But I mean, he 100% without a doubt, even asking, he would have been on the team. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is definitely unfortunate.
Yeah.
But there were some really great scenes in this Olympics this year. This was one of them. Like we were talking about earlier, bringing people together. All of these guys, as of like when they touch foot on American soil, they will always have this in common. They will always be brothers through this, but they're going to come back home and they're going to all have to play against each other. again, and they're going to go back to it. So it's just very special feeling seeing this happen. I mean, it's really cool seeing individuals win medals, but when you get a whole team of guys together, kind of like the last minute, it's not like you trained this the whole year. You're on different teams,
Yeah.
but yeah, just
Another
freaking
great
cool.
thing about Johnny Gaudreau is, despite how divided Americans and Canadians can feel right now, I feel like he is somebody that can unite both of them. We can both Americans and Canadians can connect to Johnny Gaudreau in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And again, okay, same picture as I shown before, but the Blue Jackets posted that one as well. Let's see. There's this one. This is right after the game was over. Zach Werenski, hands on the head, shocked in disbelief in a good way that like America actually won the gold medal.
Yeah.
So that's a cool picture. Let's see. The Blue Jackets, they posted some more pictures. Let's see. Well, this one is NHL, but again, after the game. That's cool. I know that the Blue Jackets posted some more pictures here. Check that out. Let's see here. All right. This is after the game. There's Zach Werenski jumping in the air, giving his teammates a hug after the Americans won the gold medal. This is pretty cool. There's Zach Werenski with Austin Matthews, an American flag. Zach Werenski with Dylan Larkin. Zach Werenski with the gold medal. Zach Werenski with Johnny Gaudreau's son. Another picture that's after the game. Like singing the national anthem with the Johnny Gaudreau jersey and the gold medal. Another picture of the gold medal, Johnny Gaudreau jersey, and Johnny Gaudreau's kids. Let's see here. Well, I think they got more pictures of Zach Werenski from the Olympics. That's him and Jack Hughes. Let's see here. They got anything else? I don't think they got. I don't think the Blue Jackets have anything else. Let's see here. We did that. Yeah. This one is just like America and like Zach Werenski getting a lot of attention all over social media. So that's cool. So that's that. So I think that's all it for now for Olympic talk. What we gotta get.
I haven't talked much about it actually.
All right.
If you don't mind.
After Duck get in here, and then after that, we'll the first half MVP. So FD Duck, get in here.
So I mean, I have talked a little bit about it like throughout here. Our discussion here a bit. But I mean, you guys know how I feel about this bringing everything together and whatnot. But what a look for Zach Werenski. The world's aware he's been on fire after the last season he had. There's no question of his status and ability in the NHL. I mean, do you see like some graphics here and there? I've seen some graphic about the decor here and there, and he's not always included in that. He's forcing that to change slowly but surely.
Right.
In fact, that graphic was from like a Tampa Bay Lightning fan or something like that. So I'm not surprised they picked the top stars. I was going to ask Harry something I totally forgot too. I want to talk about it with you guys here in just a little bit, but this just goes to show. I want to talk about the women's hockey too, but before I get there, do you guys think if Canada had Crosby, it would have made a difference?
Yeah.
Personally, I'm going to tell my opinion, and then I'm going to ask you. Sorry for asking and then answering. But I personally think that it wouldn't have mattered. Sid's on his way out the door. Not saying he's not good. He deserves to be on the team. Absolutely, 100%, no doubt. He is good enough to be on the team and to lead that team. But he's not the only guy on the team. And in fact, him not being there maybe gave some other people a little bit more chance to shine as well.
All right.
So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think about Crosby not being there?
We'll get Wine in here first.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Lance. I don't think it would have made a huge difference. I don't think Connor Hellebuck was human that game. So I don't think he would have made much of a difference in the Canadians getting past them.
Yeah.
I mean, it took literally a perfect shot from Cale Makar to beat him even once. And then he was there for everything else. So I don't think that would have made a huge difference for them.
No. I think, Crosby, like I said, he's good. Maybe not as good as he used to be because he's getting up there in age, but he's still good. And if Canada has him, it does make a difference. Probably increases their chance of winning. How much, we don't know. But at the same time, just the way that Connor Hellebuck and the American team was just playing that day, I kind of agree with Wine there. I don't necessarily think that would have mattered in the end, because it just seemed like the way that the Americans were playing, they were just on a whole new level. They're a man on a mission, trying to find a way to get it done, get that gold medal, and that no matter how hard you tried, I just don't think that you were going to beat them, because they were just playing on a whole new level. And
Hellebuck was a man possessed that game.
Yeah. And there is something to be said about playing for something besides just a gold medal. And this isn't to say that the Canadians weren't trying. I think they were. But when you have what you have, what happened, unfortunately, with Johnny Gaudreau, that meant so much to the hockey community, more especially, the Americans, because he's a guy that really kind of helped American hockey stand out, especially if, for the two teams he put, for the Blue Jackets, even made, Calgary's Canadian, but he made a big difference there as well. That when you have a guy who unfortunately dies in the manner that he did, it gives you a little extra, a little boost, a little motivation factor, a lot of rah, 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 let's go, let's do it for Johnny Gaudreau sort of thing. We obviously, if you watch the Blue Jackets last season, that obviously played a big difference in why they were where they were, where they did, they weren't expected to be that good, but they were that good. They did way better than expected, played better, just missed the playoffs. And part of that is, hey, let's do it for Johnny Gaudreau, and that kind of, bled over into USA hockey. There's like, you know what? He was an important player for American hockey. Let's do it for him. And that gave him a little extra boost and a little extra motivation. And you're not going to be, denied, sort of thing, where it just kind of felt like that no matter how hard you tried, I just don't think you were going to beat the Americans and just how they were playing that day.
Yeah. Yeah, like we've said before, with hockey, any level, any team could feasibly beat any other team, any possible game. You run this back 3 times, who knows?
Right.
Who knows if they would have played each other 3 times in a row, how would it be different? But that's just exactly it. This is a one-shot opportunity.
Yeah.
That's it.
See the Herb Brooks quote.
Huh?
The Herb Brooks quote where he's like, if we played them 10 times, they might win 9, but not tonight.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. So I just real quick want to touch on the women's hockey as well, because the state of Ohio played a pivotal role in this year's Winter Olympics
Damn
for
right.
both Team USA men's hockey and Team USA women's hockey. And big shout out to Layla Edwards from Cleveland Heights area, and that was pretty cool to see. That's not only did she absolutely go out there and kill and be amazing, and she's from Ohio, and that's always cool, but also she was the first Black woman to ever score a goal for Team USA ever. 2026 ever. And they've been playing hockey for a long ass time. So that's really, really neat to see. I'm blanking so hard on the girl from Ohio State. There was like 6 or to 9 or something like that. Like players from, we talked about it last week a little bit on the show, but since that show got taken down, I wanted to mention it again. There's quite a few former and current Ohio State players on the team as well. So just, really cool to see. Like Harry was talking about earlier, taking that and helping inspiring this generation, this next generation, getting it more in the public eye, celebrating it. I hope, there's someone out there who maybe they're into the Olympics. Maybe the Olympics were just on at somewhere that they were at and they caught a glimpse and they saw this happen. They saw America win gold and could cheer with every single other person in the room around them.
Damn
Everyone.
right.
There might be someone from a different country here and there, but just strangers, you get to cheer with them. I mean, we do when we cheer for our own teams too, but when I go to Columbus, I'm pretty sure 80% of all the fans in attendance are from there, and which is neat. You get to cheer with them too, but I can't be out in California in some sports bar or something like that cheering with all my Blue Jackets fans there. But
No.
this is just really neat. Congrats to both the women's and men's Team USA hockey teams this year. What a show. I cannot wait for the next one. We need the Four Nations face-off again. I'm looking forward. We're going to have the World Baseball Classic coming up soon. That's cool. I always love seeing that. I think that's what they call it, right? Something like that, World Baseball thing. So I know it's baseball, but still exciting to see more than just what's here, but then seeing what is here, how good it can actually be. So big props to everyone. And now we can move on unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
No. Well, all right. So first half MVPs for the Blue Jackets so far this season. I have 3 guys I'll talk about for now. We'll get to Hefty Duck, and then after that we can kind of bounce forth back and forth and whatnot. But for me, we've already talked about it in the show, but Zach Werenski, what a guy. This is a guy that he's always been a good player for the Blue Jackets, but he's really stepped it up. The last 2 seasons, he has really stepped it up. Last season was really good. His best season, 23 goals, 82 points, tied a record for his second highest points ever in Blue Jackets history. It just so good. And he's second in Norris Trophy and just really good. And then you often wonder, man, it was a season where everything went right for him. It did. And you just wonder, what's he going to do next season? Because it's almost kind of not fair to expect him to do something like that again, because you figure it would all balance out and he wouldn't be as good as what he was. But that's not really been the case, because he's had another really good season. He's, 20 goals already, and we still have 3 more months to go here. So, he could, the way he's playing, he could get at least 25, 30 goals for a defenseman, which would be ridiculously good, but he could do that. And then on top of that, just really good defensively. Makes good. He's big, a little physicality to him, block shots, good at skating. He breaks up defensive plays easy, power play, penalty killing, just everything that you could want. Zach Werenski gives you that. And he's just been so good. And then he got picked to go play at the Olympics. And he did really good. He set up the game, got a goal. He set up the game-winning goal with an awesome pass. And now people are talking about him in a way that most people we're not talking about him. Is that, oh, wow, this Zach Werenski guy is real good. You got to check him out and all this sort of stuff, getting the attention that he deserves. Now, if you like the Blue Jackets, you already knew that. You already knew that Zach Werenski was good. You were already talking about Zach Werenski. But if you weren't a Blue Jackets fan, I mean, there's a good chance you probably were not talking about Zach Werenski. That is done. That is over. Everyone is talking about Zach Werenski now. He's even pumped himself in the conversation of the guy that should win the Norris Trophy. Should have won it. You know, you could easily make a good argument that he should have won it last year. I know Cal Makar had a real good season. I get that, but I think Zach Werenski still should have won it, but that's besides the point. But now he's put himself in a position again to win the Norris Trophy again this season. And I'm seeing it from everyone, Blue Jackets fans and non-Blue Jackets fans alike, and people in the hockey media, not just in the Columbus media, but in the national media as well, saying that Zach Werenski should win the Norris Trophy. And I agree with that. He should. So overall, Zach Werenski, you have just been so good. You've always been a good player for the Blue Jackets, but so good this last 2 seasons. Even better than I thought you could be, which is saying something because you're already really good. So shout out to you, Zach Werenski. You are a first half MVP for the Blue Jackets this season. You definitely get an A. And then second MVP is the goaltending. Jet Greaves and Elvis Merzlikins. Going into this season, that was a potential issue. The goaltending. It was, I don't know about the goaltending. Oh boy, Elvis Merzlikins, he can kind of be hit and miss. Sometimes he's bad, sometimes he's good. So I don't know about that one. And you kind of had questions about Jet Greaves because, he did play good for the Monsters. And, when he did play for the Blue Jackets, he looked good. But that was a small sample size. So you didn't exactly know what you had there. And I often wondered what's going to happen when he plays an 82-game season and the book is now out on Jet Greaves and teams are going to start to figure out what he's good at and what's he's bad at. And how are you going to counter that? And I would say for the most part, Jet Greaves has done a good job at that. He really has done a good job playing a good game. And he's earned the starting job, and he's played really good for the Blue Jackets. He's a big reason why they are where they are right now, fighting for a playoff spot. 11-1 in their last 12 games. It's a nitpick, but the thing I don't like about Jet Greaves is that he gives up a lot of goals up high. Now, it's not necessarily his fault because he is a shorter dude, and by default, has going to have a tougher time covering the upper part of the net. So yes, he is going to get scored on up high, but he's going to have to figure out a way around that because teams are starting to figure out that you can pick on him by shooting up high. And it's gotten so bad to the point to where even when you're watching Blue Jackets games, Jody Shelley and Steve Mears are like, are they shooting high on Jet Greaves? So that's something that he's going to have to fix because that has, there's been some games that unfortunately the Blue Jackets have lost. It's because, Jet Greaves gave up a goal up high that he couldn't really do anything about because he's kind of short. So It's a minor nitpick, but that's something that he's going to have to find a way to get better at. Otherwise, oh boy, that's, otherwise that could be an issue that could continue to hurt the Blue Jackets. But besides that, he's been really good. As for Elvis Merzlikins, he's been awesome. Yeah, he's had a bad game or two where he's let in a bad goal that he shouldn't. But for the most part, he's been awesome. He really has. He's really stepped it up. When the Blue Jackets have needed a big save, Elvis Merzlikins is there. Elvis Merzlikins last year was really good in the shootout. He went 5-0. This year, Elvis Merzlikins again is continuing his shootout magic. He's really good in the shootout again. The Blue Jackets have not lost a game when Elvis Merzlikins has been in there when it's a shootout. He's just ridiculously good. I don't understand why, but he is. Elvis Merzlikins is really good in the shootout. And again, like Harry said, as soon as Rick Bowness came along, he's been awesome. He just has. He's had some big games to help the Blue Jackets win games where he just stepped it up and made big saves. So the goaltending was a question going into this season. Now it's not. You don't worry about that. You know that generally speaking, Elvis Merzlikins or Jack Greaves is going to give you a good game, give you a chance to win, and more likely than not, the Blue Jackets are probably going to win that game if, they have a good game, which has happened a lot. So I'm giving them A's. My final third one, we'll get to Hefty Duck, and I'll share another one later. My final one is Charlie Coyle. What a guy. Stud. Awesome player. What a move it was to get him in the offseason. That was so good because he has helped fill a need that the Blue Jackets really needed. They needed help on their third and fourth line. That was a weakness last season for the Blue Jackets. Because you know what? Credit to, a Zach Aston Reese or a Sean Corrali or a Justin Danforth or a Matthew Olivier and a whole bunch of other guys that played those third line, fourth line minutes. You tried your best. You gave the Blue Jackets some good games, but at times it was not working. It just wasn't. It was just a mishmash of guys where sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. And the Blue Jackets needed help on the third and fourth line. And Charlie Coyle has been that guy. He's been perfect on the third and fourth line for the Blue Jackets. He's been that good. And they needed help at center. He's a center. He's given them that help at center. He's been awesome. And he's been good on the power play. Good secondary scoring. They've gotten some big goals out of him. He got a hat trick. Power play, penalty killing, offense, defense. He's good at face-offs. He's blocked shots. Just everything that you could have wanted. The Blue Jackets have gotten from Charlie Coyle. He has just been so good, so awesome. So he gets an A for me as well. So nicely done, Charlie Coyle. You have been awesome for the Blue Jackets. So that's it for me for now. And then we'll get Hefty Duck in here. And after that, maybe Wine if he wants to say something about Charlie Coyle.
Yeah, this season has not been a super big surprise as to who it has been on the leaders of points. The only real surprise for me personally was Coyle, just because I wasn't as familiar with his game as the rest of the guys that I'm about to talk about as well. A couple of surprises poking out there too. Nothing super crazy. The two of the biggest points leaders from last year are not leading as much this year. That's Sean Monahan and Boone Jenner, and that is by design. That the Blue Jackets were in a position where Boone Jenner is very, very talented, and definitely deserves a lot of minutes, but he's not necessarily who I would pick for my top line. Sean Monahan might be, but ideally I'd like to have I would put Boone on the second line or possibly even third line center, and have him work with some younger guys. But because last year he definitely would have been probably one of my top picks there. But this year, I mean, it's obvious. It's so stupid obvious. It has to be Zach Werenski. He's the all-arounder. He is listed as a defenseman, but he has the most goals on the team. He also has the most assists on the team. And when it comes to things like blocking shots, he's fourth on the team. When it comes to things, where'd he go now? He's not making as many hits this year as maybe in previous years. I think he learned that last year too, that he can be more beneficial in other ways. He won't shy away from it, as we saw that sick pass in the Olympics. But yeah, he's the best of the best. He's the cream of the crop. I couldn't say enough good things about him and what he's done for the Blue Jackets. Just his entire career, he's been solid, reliable, and in the past few seasons, he's really taken off. 62 points in 52 games. You couldn't ask more from anybody, more from a defenseman especially. That's sick. And he keeps penalty minutes low. You know, he's only got 12 penalty minutes for this entire season in 52 games. That puts him at 12th most on the team. Obviously, the first two being Olivier and Voronkov. So it's not just his goals and assists. There's a lot more to Zach Werenski. Like I said, fourth in blocks. Just absolute powerhouse out there. He's got the second most, and not including the goaltenders because they don't count with this. But not including the goaltenders, I think he has the third most amount of second ice time this year after Ivan Provorov, which makes sense. Yeah, he's my number one. I think he was last year. He was this year, and hopefully he will be again next year.
Right.
And I don't want to just go by points here, but we also have to look at other things like production, like hits, some takeaways and stuff like that. And I'm gonna go with Charlie Coyle as my second star. Because of his all-around game. Now he has 4 less points than Kirill Marchenko, but he also has almost twice the hits. He's got about the same amount of takeaways and has half the giveaways. Coyle's out there not just scoring 15 goals, not just getting 27 assists, but he's not getting penalized. He's really giving his all every night out there, creating plays, but then also not making dumb mistakes, because this is something that me and Kevin have harped upon these last 2 seasons, is these just brain fart moments.
Yep.
This just where they're you can tell like they're in their zone, all of a sudden like they're locked in, all of a sudden their brain just goes duh, and then it's a giveaway, and it's a 2-on-none on and the other way. And we've seen that get way better this year too. I mean, especially with Damon Severson. I mean, I can't say enough good about him too. But anyway, so we'll kind of see where some other guys get with this too, because it's hard for me. It's hard for me to go with just 3 of them. If we're going top 10, I think it'll be a little bit easier because, like I said, I'm not just looking at the points for this. Now, the top 3 are going to be the top 3 points earners this year, because I have to go with Kirill Marchenko. He's a machine. He is absolutely insane out there. 19 goals, 27 assists. But like I was saying with Coyle, I mean, Marchenko has 40 hits. That's about almost double what Werenski has, and got about 30 takeaways and whatnot. So valuable player. Love to see him out on the ice. It's hard when you start thinking about the contributions that well, I lost him here. Where Sean Monahan is concerned, he's got a couple less games, but yeah, keep in mind Kirill Marchenko has 50 games played. That's 2 less than Werenski and 6 less than Coyle, Fantilli, and Voronkov, and still has 46 points. So he's ahead of the next guy in front of him by at least 4 points. So what a great addition to the team. Honorable mentions to Adam Fantilli, Dmitry Voronkov, and honestly,
Yeah.
honorable mention to Mason Marchment.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe you know how 'cause I've heard Chinakov's doing great over in Pittsburgh. I haven't really paid much attention to it. I don't really care that much. Sometimes that change of scenery can be what makes the difference, and we're seeing that here with Mason Marchment. Having barely any goals at Seattle and coming here and tripling that in a matter of 14 games. So, he's been almost a point per game player since he's been here. 14 games, 13 points, 9 goals, 4 assists. So now he's picking up the penalty minutes a little bit, but we all know that's kind of his game, and I can't complain too much about it. Yeah, I mean, honorable mentions to so many other guys here. You mentioned Olivier earlier, didn't you?
That was Harry.
Did Harry mention it? Yeah. What a guy. He's been doing it all for the Columbus Blue Jackets as well. I don't think we're seeing quite as many minutes as he got last year, and once again, that might be a bit by design as well.
Yeah.
And it's in a way, it's creating this competition, friendly or not, I don't know, a competition amongst the players for that time to get the more time, the more minutes. And there's only good can come of that. I mean, these guys are professional athletes at this point, and they're on the same team. They're fighting for the same thing. You can maybe be jealous that, oh, that player's getting more minutes of me, but do something about it. It's your life to live. It's your time to do what you want. And yeah. So overall, yeah, Werenski, then I got to go with Coyle and Marchenko. Absolutely doing some good out there. And we'll see how this changes by game 82.
Right.
I mean, we have Adam Fantilli not that far behind. Dmitry Voronkov, we always knew that he's great when paired up with Marchenko and Chinakhov, but now he's starting to see a little bit more playing time with some other guys too.
Right.
And he's still that good. And he's still that scary. And he's still that big. And so, he's got almost an hour worth of penalty minutes right behind Matthew Olivier with an hour and 2 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, it's something to work on a little bit. But 96 hits ain't nothing to sneeze at. Olivier, 158 hits. It goes Olivier, 158. Voronkov, 96. Boone Jenner, 92. Fantilli's up there pretty high, too, with 87. So, a lot of tough guys out there. So I had to give them some honorable mentions for sure. But, yeah, that's all I got with that, I think.
Wine, do you got anything to say about Charlie Coyle?
Yeah, I mean, he's been incredible for you guys. I'd personally have him as my number 2 MVP for you guys, behind Werenski, obviously. I mean, Werenski's a guy that should be in NHL MVP conversations, honestly. He's just been that incredible this year.
Yep. I agree with you there, Wine. And last, I kind of compare it to this, is that, Joe Burrow's always been an awesome player for the Bengals and definitely one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. But, it happens. It's not his fault or the Bengals' fault. It's just that he plays in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's a smaller market. So you're not going to get as much attention as perhaps you should. And then last couple seasons, Joe Burrow started to play really good, or he went on a heater and just be top 10 in all the offensive categories and just play really good, that it made people start to pay attention to Joe Burrow more. Like, wow, look at Joe Burrow play. doing this, doing that. Awesome. It was a similar thing with Zach Werenski. Like, he's always been an awesome player, one of the best defensemen out there. Didn't get as much attention, and perhaps they should, because again, it's not his fault or the Blue Jackets' fault. It's just the truth is, it's just Columbus is a smaller market, so they're not going to get as much attention as perhaps they should. But now, like, there is no reason to not be talking about Zach Werenski, because the way that he's played has made people talk about him. Not just Blue Jackets fans, but people from outside of Columbus, where everyone's talking about him now. And he deserves it, and it's just awesome to see. And I do agree with you there, Wyan, that he needs to be in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, leading your team by almost 20 points as a defenseman is just bonkers.
Right. And last thing I'll say about this in regards to Werenski, there are some Detroit fans on Twitter that are very goofy and very misguided, because they're like, making posts about how they want the Red Wings to get Zach Werenski. Because he's from Michigan and he went to school at Michigan. And it's like, okay, I understand why you feel that way. But no, it's not happening. Sorry, Zach Werenski is with the Blue Jackets and he's not going anywhere. So if anything, you need to stop it with your goofy, weird obsession of just trying to get Zach Werenski on your team, because I see that. I see that on Twitter time and time again, where it's Detroit fans overly obsessing about trying to get Zach Werenski on their team. No.
Yeah,
no.
I think that's a common thing among fan bases, really. I mean,
yeah, I know, but it's just like, no, like, go. I remember, for years that teams would be trying to get T. Higgins from the Bengals, and every time the Bengals would be like, no, like, go get your own T. Higgins. Like, if you do a good job in drafting, you can go get a T. Higgins. And I share the same exact thing with Zach Werenski. Go get your own Zach Werenski. If you want it, guess what? You can go, be like the Blue Jackets and do a good job in drafting a guy like a Zach Werenski, and you can do it. Because the Blue Jackets, that's what they did. They did a good job in their drafting that year when they got Zach Werenski, and it's paid off for him. So if you want your own Zach Werenski, go get your own Zach Werenski. Do a good job in drafting like the Blue Jackets did, and you can have your own version of a Zach Werenski. But until then, screw you. Go away, because you're not getting your own Zach Werenski. He belongs to the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, Islanders fans have done the same thing with Charlie McAvoy for years. And now James Higgins as well, because they're both from Long Island.
Oh, geez, dummy.
So yeah, it's just not happening.
So no. But anyways, I got to give a big honorable mention, another MVP, to Damon Severson. What a guy. That guy has really stepped it up. He really has. He's been so good for the Blue Jackets this season. Most importantly, no dumb brain fart moments for Damon Severson. Because the first two seasons with the Blue Jackets, he'd have some moments where he looked good, he looked bad, and then just have a brain fart moment, and you're like, what the heck was that garbage? It's just terrible. And sometimes it'd end up in the back of the net. But we have not seen it this season from Damon Severson. It's no inconsistency. It's just been good. He's been awesome, and no brain fart moments where you're like, oh God, what was that garbage? You're not saying that. You're not saying that anymore. It's like, man, Damon Severson's playing awesome, or oh man, he made a big play there defensively to break up a play, or oh, he scored a big goal there to help the Blue Jackets win. He's just been awesome. Damon Severson, you've been playing awesome so far this season for the Blue Jackets. I love it. You get an A.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Searson's been doing really good. I mean, he's a professional. He looked at his mistakes. He learned from them. The coaching has probably benefited him a lot as well. I think that was one thing that was maybe giving him a bit of a hard time. Sometimes the way someone communicates with you can be the key in fixing those mistakes, because you can yell at someone and be like, you need to do better. You need to do this better. You need to do that better. Or you can tell someone, hey, if you do this, it will be better. If you, and like lead them to the answer, not just maybe trying to get them to come up with the answer themselves or something. Whatever has changed, it's changed because if we look at some of his numbers, you know, he's kind of middle of the road on giveaways. You know, here, no surprise to some, Provorov has 89 giveaways with the most on the team. Zach Werenski's at 83. They also get the absolute most minutes on the ice. So it makes sense that some of the two top defensemen are going to have some more mistakes than others with way more minutes. And Tivo has 67, Marchenko has 66, Fantilli has 60. So he's, you know, it's like I said, a lot of it is the guys that just get more minutes are going to have more giveaways with more opportunity to do that. But we haven't seen it take a toll in certain games. You know, they're starting to take control of the third period. I think that's going to be huge as well too. So, yeah, awesome to see the improvement this year.
And then the last couple of things I'll say about this, and then we got other stuff to talk about too, is the line that has Kirill Marchenko and Dmitry Voronkov or Sean Monahan or Adam Fantilli or Kirill Marchenko, Adam Fantilli, Mason Marchment. That has been good all season long. What a good line that has been. That is definitely honorable mention for first half MVP. They have been so good, so fun to watch. And if the Blue Jackets needed a big goal, you could count on those guys to get it done, and they would get it done. And you look at the analytics, I've seen this pop up time and time again. When Mason Marchment and Adam Fantilli, or Kirill Marchenko, or Dmitry Voronkov, Adam Fantilli, Kirill Marchenko, or when Sean Monahan, Kirill Marchenko, Dmitry Voronkov, any variation of that line right there from an analytics standpoint has been one of the best lines from an analytics standpoint. When they've been on the ice, the analytics show that the Blue Jackets are dominating play. They have more time in the offensive zone, better puck possession, more shots on goal, and yes, more goals, because all those guys, when they played together, have just been so good. They've really been that good. That third line of Charlie Coyle, Matthew Olivier, Cole Sillinger, he's an awesome line. That's definitely one of been their better lines all season long. The second line, more recently, of Kent Johnson, Boone Jenner, and some variation of usually, different players that have mixed and matched there. That's also been, a good line there as well. Miles Wood, I've liked to watch him play. Dude's big and he's fast and he's physical and he's fun to watch, and teams have trouble playing against that because they look at him as a big guy and they don't think he's going to be fast. And then when he gets going, I think it surprises them, like, oh my God, like he's so fast. We didn't expect that. And then he just blows right past them. And the Blue Jackets have gotten some goals off of that where they just chuck the puck up the ice and hoping that Miles Wood gets it. And then Miles Wood gets the puck. And then he's able to just blow past the defense and then he scored. And then like the other team is just looking around like, wait, what happened? How did he get that goal? We didn't think he was that fast. What happened? So he's been good. It's just overall just a good team effort by the Blue Jackets. When they're on, and they've just been so fun to watch. And last year, they were good at scoring goals, one of the best in hockey, top 10 in scoring, best at 5-on-5 scoring. This year, they've continued that trend that, yes, the Blue Jackets are still good at scoring goals. And their 5-on-5 play is still good. If you give them a chance, you're in for a long night against the Blue Jackets. If you're playing the Blue Jackets, you got to do the best you can to limit their chances, limit their 5-on-5 play, and limit their offense. Because if you don't do that, you're screwed. You're in for a long night. The Blue Jackets are going to cook your ass. Because the Blue Jackets have shown time and time again, last season and this season, where they can go off. They can have a period where they score 3, 4, 5 goals in a period. Just boom, just like that. So it just been so good. So much to talk about and so many MVPs and honorable mentions. It's been fun to watch, especially under Rick Bowness. I want to give Rick Bowness a nice big hug and shake his hand and tell him thank you, because the Blue Jackets have been so much better under him, and it's so much more fun to watch. Thank you, Rick Bowness. Under you, the Blue Jackets are 11-1 in the last 12 games. It's been so fun to watch. So it's just been awesome so far this season. You know, some good moments in the first half of the season, and I'm interested and excited to see how it goes for the second half and the rest of the season for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, we will know for sure soon whether this will continue or not, whether it's made a difference or not. Now, in these past few weeks, I haven't been paying attention to the practice schedule with the Blue Jackets or anything like that, or if they're practicing while the Olympics break is going on. I'm sure people got like a break at some point, got some rest in, but also this has given the Blue Jackets players and coach to maybe communicate a little bit more, talk a little bit more. It's given Bonus a little bit of more time to watch some more video on them, study the players a bit more, because he was called on his yacht and he's like, all right, I'll be there. And he's a fantastic coach, and I'm sure he has his ways to have and knew a lot about the players already, just with his experience in the NHL and being big in the hockey world. But we will see. We'll see if that can be sustained, because that's the most important thing, is sustaining it.
Yeah.
The Blue Jackets are so close to a playoff spot, as are so many other teams. This battle is going to be huge. These last 26 games, we're down to 26 games, are going to be huge. Yeah, I mean, it's almost March, and March kind of starts signaling the playoff push a lot.
Right.
And that's where the Blue Jackets are at. And I've been seeing things too about Don Waddell, talking about not trying to he's not looking to make any major moves with his own pending UFAs, but he's not in a hurry to re-sign them, because like he doesn't need to be. There's still plenty of time left in the season, and even the off season, you can let it go a little while. It's not the worst thing ever, especially when it's a bit of an older group that is UFAs. I mean, specifically, we're looking at Boone Jenner and
Charlie Coyle, Mason Marchment.
So those are 3 guys that could absolutely be vital to a playoff success, and could be vital to the team next year still. They're not, it's not like they're old by any means. They're older in the NHL. But also, I just kind of blanked on where I was going with that. But also, they could possibly be trade chips. I mean, really, time will tell, because how the rest of this season goes is going to depend on them a lot.
Right.
And if there is failure, if there is some sort of big hiccup or mishap or something like that, I think that's when you start to look at it, start to really look at this core and start to think. I mean, personally, the core is the fine thing. I feel like some people are being pushed out of the core now. I feel like Boone Jenner's being pushed out of the core. I don't think that he's not. I mean, he's still a vital part of the team, but there are people who are now that So I got a text and it distracted me again. I'm so sorry. I'm brain dead right now. It's been a long weekend. I'm very tired. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, we're seeing that change, the changing of guards, so to speak. Waddell brought in a ton of experienced players, and they're kind of ushering in this next group of Fantilli, Voronkov, Sillinger, Matejchuk. Those are players that we're going to see possibly on all-star games and stuff like that eventually.
Right. And this last thing I'll say about this, and I even want to get Wine in here on this before we get to something else, is I have never seen an Eastern Conference in hockey this late in the season. We're in February, and it's so competitive from top to bottom that you could make an argument that no one is really out of it yet. I've never really seen anything like that this late into the season, because usually right about now, when you get to like late February, March, you kind of, generally speaking, you kind of have an idea on teams of who is going to be in the playoffs, a team who's going to be fighting for a playoff spot, and a team that's not in it at all that will be selling at the deadline, trade deadline. Get some draft picks, some players, some prospects, and whatnot. But you can't really say anything about that, because up until now, this whole season in the Eastern Conference, it's been so competitive from top to bottom that no team, at least in my opinion, is not really out of it yet. And I've never seen anything like that, because you look at what's going on in the Western Conference, and it's like, yeah, there's teams that are going to make it. There are teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. And then you see teams that are not even close. And like, yeah, they're not doing it. They're just, they're playing games just to see what they have, build on their future. You trade a guy or two, get some players, some draft picks, some prospects, whatnot. That's the Western Conference, but you don't really see that in the Eastern Conference. It's just so competitive from top to bottom that you could really make a case that no one's really out of it yet. And I've never seen it like that this late in the season. So what you thinking here, Wyan?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I'm not sure if I've ever seen an Eastern Conference this tight heading into the February break. I mean, this is like, it feels like right from puck drop this season, it's just been that tight the entire way. Maybe recently there's been a tad more separation, but then Rick Bonus comes in, and now the separation's not that far again.
Right.
I mean, I would say the only team that's completely out of it in the Eastern Conference would be the New York Rangers. But other than that, yeah, like really any of those teams could have a good push in these last 26-ish games and get in. I mean,
right. I agree with that there, Wyan. I agree. Anything to say about this hefty, Doc?
I mean, it's the possibility is real. It's being dangled in front of our face once again. It's hard to not be a little cynical as a Blue Jackets fan, because we were talking very similar talks last year at this time.
Right.
And at the beginning of the season, we were even talking about it then as to where that's the goal. That is the goal, playoffs. And that was what the team was being built to do by Don Waddell, by Dean Evison, now by Rick Bonus. And it seems like Waddell is not going to stop until
No.
it happens. And that is exciting to me. That is why I feel more positive. That's why I feel less cynical, because realistically speaking, you know, I feel like we saw that with Jarmo Kekalainen in the first years, and even, you know, all the way up through the 2019 playoffs and stuff like that. And then it really just became focused on the young core, which I totally understand. You're trying to build a team from within, not looking elsewhere to bring people in. But I think the Blue Jackets are well past that stage, and maybe should have been a little bit earlier. And I think that's why Waddell was brought in too. Was just for that. It was time for a change. And so, like I said, it's hard not to be cynical a little bit, because we're Ohio sports fans.
Yeah.
Our hopes are very often dashed, and the very few times they aren't is one of the coolest things that ever happened.
I know.
Like looking at the Cavs and how good they did. Look at the
Yeah.
Guards and the you know, playoff wins they've had and everything. Like that's
Yeah.
it's sick when it does actually happen. So
I know.
and
It.
with this
Yeah,
added interest from
playoff
the
hockey is just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it is. I mean, that's guaranteed a sellout crowd. It doesn't matter what else is going on in the city. Fucking Buckeyes could be playing a national championship. They won't. It's not the right timing, but they could be playing a national championship game, and if the Blue Jackets are in the playoffs, that's going to be a packed house still. They're both going to be packed, guaranteed. You know what I mean? But like, it would have to be. I mean, I don't know. So hopefully, with the extra addition of the boost from the Olympics, and you know, if they do get towards the playoffs, that's just going to bring in more and more fans too, I think.
No. And I'll just say this, and then we'll get on to something else. You know, Hefty Talk, you are right. You know, being an Ohio sports fan, there's a lot of ups and downs, and when the ups do happen, you don't take it for granted. It's like, oh my God, this is awesome. You know, Cavs winning the championship in 2016, and you know the Monsters won it in 2016, and you know the Indians made it to the World Series. They didn't get it, but they made it there, and that was cool. And, you know, Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. They didn't get it, but that was so cool when they went to the Super Bowl. And all the times that, you know, the Blue Jackets made it to the playoffs and knocked out Tampa Bay, and they swept them and beat Toronto in the playoffs the following year. That was cool. And then all the times that, you know, more recently, like the Reds have made the playoffs, you know, 2010 and 2013, and no, 2010, 2012, 2013, 2020. Reds made the playoffs again this past season, and that was cool. You know, there's been some ups and downs with Ohio State where they get to a big bowl game and then they choke and they lose when they shouldn't, but they do it anyways, or they lose a game against Michigan that they shouldn't, but they do it anyways, or they won the national championship. You know, there's just lots of, unfortunately, there's just a lot of ups and downs with Ohio sports, and you just got to take it for what it is. And you're just used to it that, you know, your team may let you down, which sucks, but you know what? On the flip side of that, they're eventually they will do something cool, really good, and like, it just feels great, and you don't take it for granted.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think the Blue Jackets in particular need another signature playoff moment like 2019.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, because they're big three moments that, well, they're big three the big three moments that the Blue Jackets have had is when they knocked out Tampa Bay and Toronto in the playoffs, and then when they went on that heater during the 2016-2017 season when they won 16 games in a row. And to this day, they're like one of like 2 or 3 teams that have ever done that. So like, it was just that good. So like, I do agree with you there, Wine, that they do need more big moments. And I do believe they're on a path to slowly building themselves up to where they'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
But Anyways, so on to the next thing I'd like to talk about. I promised a little Big Ten hockey talk, so we'll do that. So
Are you
I'll
sure you
put
want
this.
to?
Yeah, we'll put this up on the screen. Last week we did a little Big Ten standings. How is each team doing? Well, this is updated. Updated Big Ten standings after this past weekend. Michigan is 18-6. Michigan State is 13-5. Penn State is 12-8. Wisconsin is 12-10. Ohio State is 7-13. The Minnesota Golden Gophers still sit at 7-13 because they had a bye week, so their record has not changed. And boy, Notre Dame not good in the Big
Terrible.
Ten this season. They are 2-18. Yikes!
Terrible.
So there you go. That is a recap of Big Ten records in the Big Ten this season for Big Ten teams. Michigan at the top at 18-6, and Notre Dame not good, 2-18 in the Big Ten this season.
Yeah, it's rough for Notre Dame. Like, damn. Get good. I thought that they were historically not like, a pretty decent hockey school too.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's their full NCAA record.
I bet you it's a lot better than 2-18 in the Big Ten.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's not good. 6-22-4. Conference is 2-17-1. So,
So
2-18 we got there.
2-18. Yeah.
6-22-4. Damn, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the way she goes. Sometimes people are choosing other schools, like we're seeing, like we've been harping on with the
Ohio State,
the Buckeyes too. People, Michigan being like the top dog here is no surprise.
Nope.
In the slightest. Michigan State being on the top dogs here, no surprise in the slightest.
No.
And same with Penn State too. They're really like they've made huge strides in these last I don't know how many years now, but yeah, absolutely out there killing it.
I know why, and I know you don't pay that much attention to the Big Ten because I get you're on the East Coast. I get that, but do you have anything to say about this?
I mean, 2-18, that they got to be tanking for Gavin McKenna, and I'm sure you're going to talk about him at some point. But yeah, just wow.
And unfortunately, Ohio State is one of their wins.
Yeah, I did see that on Twitter because people tweet about Gavin McKenna, but
yeah, it just at the time. Notre Dame beat Ohio State, and at the time when Notre Dame beat Ohio State, they were 0-13 in the Big Ten.
Terrible.
So, yikes.
Speaking of Owen, I miss that dude. I should get him back on here sometime.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had to make the joke.
Yeah. So, Ohio State, come on now, man. Why are you giving Notre Dame their first win this season in the Big Ten? Come on now. Jeez. But no, you're right. Hefty Duck's right. I'm not surprised that Michigan is tops in the Big Ten at 18-6 because they're historically good. They're always producing top talent. Obviously the Blue Jackets know that because historically all their good guys have been Michigan guys, from Jack Johnson, Kent Johnson, Adam Fantilli, Zach Werenski. And there's other guys that they produce too. So I get it. I get why Michigan is good at hockey, and I'm not surprised that they're number one in the Big Ten for conference standings at 18-6. And speaking of Michigan, look, Michigan had 4 guys who played for them on the USA Olympic team. They had Quinn Hughes, Dylan Larkin, Kyle Connor, and Zach Werenski. So yeah, Michigan is good at hockey and producing good hockey players. That's what they do. They produce top talent in the NHL. The Blue Jackets are a beneficiary of that, but also the USA hockey team was also a beneficiary of Michigan being good at hockey, because the USA hockey team had 4 guys who play at Michigan play for USA hockey.
Pretty sick.
So there's that. Now,
Pretty cool that Dylan Larkin and Zach Werenski got to play together then too.
right.
Pretty
Right.
sick.
So yes, Wine is correct. We are going to be talking about Gavin McKenna because I this past weekend, Ohio State Penn State hockey was on the Big Ten Network, and I watched both games. And let me tell you, those were some entertaining games. If you liked Penn State, for the most part, because the first game, Ohio State, for the most part, was god awful. Yes, they scored 4 goals, so that's good, and there are moments where they looked good, but they got smoked by 7 goals. They lost 11-4. And outside of scoring 4 goals, it was god awful for Ohio State. It was just, you're letting the defense, you're hanging the goalie out to dry. The defense was basically non-existent. And then, you just let Gavin McKenna cook your ass, because for the first game, Gavin McKenna had an 8-point night. 8-point night. Ridiculously good. 1 goal, 7 assists for 8 points. And you would have thought by the third point that Ohio State would have done something. Get a guy on him so that he's not cooking your ass. Well, that didn't happen. They just did not have a guy on him, which is bad strategically, because all game long, Gavin McKenna was just cooking Ohio State's ass, cooking them, destroying them. He got a goal, and then he would get the puck in the offensive zone, and then he would just take over the game and just dominate in the offensive zone. And he would just find ways to set guys up, and then Penn State would score. And it was just ridiculously good and just so fun to watch. And to a certain extent, it'd be like, man, this isn't fair, man. He's just cooking Ohio State. It was just like, wow. And just wow. And then Blue Jackets prospect Jackson Smith, who's a defenseman, who's been playing really good for Penn State this season. He also cooked Ohio State, because he had a 3-point night the first game, 1 goal, 2 assists. And I'm going to show that goal that Jackson Smith had. And then the second game, Gavin McKenna again cooked Ohio State again. He had, a 3-point night. He had 2 assists and a goal, which was the game-winning goal in overtime, where him and Jackson Smith, they are magic with the puck. They have awesome chemistry together, where they just take over the game. When they're in the offensive zone, they just take over the game. The magic that they have, it's just shift after shift, where they pass the puck, and it's just wow. And then when you get to the game-winning goal in overtime, it was just like, wow. Ohio State had no chance. Jackson Smith and Gavin McKenna just cooked their ass, because they dominated in the offensive zone, had a good shift, and Gavin McKenna and Jackson Smith just played keep away from Ohio State, made a couple good plays, and then they pass the puck between each other back and forth, and then Jackson Smith does an awesome backhand pass like a no-look backhand pass to Gavin McKenna. Gavin McKenna gets it, and then he jukes an Ohio State defender, cooks his ass, and then he shoots and scores. And it's like, wow, what a play. I'm just going to say this, like, whoever gets Gavin McKenna in the draft this upcoming June, you are in for a treat. You are going to be very lucky. You're going to be like, wow, we got this guy. Yeah, you got this guy. You got that guy because he is just wow. He's just really good. Well, that'd be good, but that means they didn't make the playoffs, and I wouldn't be very fond of that. But that's neither here nor there. But he is just so good. For Gavin McKenna to have 10 points in 2 games, ridiculously good. He just cooked Ohio State's ass, destroyed them. And then that second game, Ohio State was playing a good game. They're up 4-1. And for whatever reason, after they got the 4th goal, they just stopped playing. I don't get why they did that, but they just stopped playing. And then it came back to bite them in the ass because they stopped playing. And then Penn State just started to play better. And another thing that hurt them is, why, and you've talked about this on the show, where one thing that has hurt the Bruins is they can't stay out of the penalty box, and then it hurts them. Well, that was the same thing with Ohio State watching them play. For whatever reason, they couldn't stay out of the penalty box, and you just can't do that. Especially when you're playing against a team that has players like Gavin McKenna and Jackson Smith. What happened? They go on the power play and they score, and they would just cook Ohio State. It's just like, it did not have to be like that, but you could not you could not stay in the penalty box. You could not stay out of the penalty box, and it screwed you because you stopped playing, you kept doing stupid penalties, and you couldn't stay out of the penalty box. And then before you know it, Penn State scored 3 quick goals to tie it up at 4. And once that happened, that was it. Ohio State did not come back from that, because as soon as they got the 4th goal, they stopped playing. And as soon as Penn State got the 4th goal to tie it, that was it. You just, for whatever reason, Ohio State just stopped playing, and I don't get it. And then they get the goal. Jackson Smith assists on the goal to Gavin McKenna, and that was the end of that. Penn State wins, and it's just like bad. Ohio State gave up a combined 16 goals in 2 games. Like, that's horrible. That's terrible, pathetic, weak, idiotic nonsense. You can't do that. You can't you can't give up 16 goals in 2 games and call it what it is. Ohio State's going to keep getting those results unless they start caring more about hockey, unless they put more effort into their hockey program. Because if they don't, they're going to get those same results where average at best, but generally speaking, most of the time, you're going to get smoked. Because if you can't, yeah, well, yeah, Mason Lohrei, good player for Ohio State. I know he's been good for the Bruins, but that's the best that Ohio State can do. They're not giving you a Johnny Gaudreau type of a talent. They're not giving you a Dylan Larkin or a Connor McDavid type of a talent or a Jack Eichel. They're not giving you a Zach. Yeah, Wine. Yeah, they're not giving you a Zach Werenski type of a talent. They're not giving you Adam Fantilli because they're not. Because for that to happen, you need to put more effort into hockey. You need to put more money, more resources. You need to show that you care about hockey. You need to show that you're willing to do it and have better hockey facilities. That's not Ohio State.
There's other sports than football.
No, you're right, though, Wine. Like, you need to put more effort into sports besides football. You need to show a reason for people to come if you're not a football player. And this is very embarrassing, but recently Ohio State had a basketball game against Virginia, and that game was on national TV. And Gus Johnson was the announcer for that game. And he straight up called out Ohio State, because I'm paraphrasing it, but basically this is what it was. He went like this. Yeah, Virginia, they've done a good job in their recruiting and NIL and doing a good job, building themselves up and getting a good basketball team. Can't say that about Ohio State because they gave all their money to Ryan Day.
Oh my God.
Woof.
Ryan Day, you do not deserve that money. It should go to Ohio State hockey.
I know, right? Give it to hockey. But the thing is, it's embarrassing that Ohio State got called out for just being a football school. And what made that even more embarrassing is that Jim Jackson, the other announcer for that game that was working with Gus Johnson, he was a basketball player at Ohio State. And he had to sit there and take it because he knows it's true. He knows he can't say anything. So that's embarrassing. Like, Ohio State, I like you, man, but we need more effort besides just football. Put it into hockey. Maybe we could get a good basketball team. It'd be nice to have Ohio State not be known for just football. And yes, I know Ohio State women's hockey, you've won 2 national championships. That's awesome. But that's happened despite Ohio State's lack of caring about sports that are not football. Imagine what they could do if you put more effort into it. Be in a whole different position. So overall, those 2 games that I watched of Ohio State hockey against Penn State was god awful. I mean, so you scored 4 goals in both games. That's good, but you pissed it away because you stopped playing. Bad talent defensively. You hung your goalie out to dry, and then you get smoked because you don't have the talent to compete with the big dogs. You're playing Penn State, and they can throw out Gavin McKenna and Jackson Smith, and then they got other guys that are like 20 goal scorers on their team or close to it. Yeah, it makes a difference.
And they cook your ass.
Yeah, it does. So that's just how it is. And we lost Hefty Duck there. Oh, well, maybe he'll come back. If not, oh, well. No, but Ohio State, you need to do better. I want more effort into the hockey team. Because if you don't, you're going to continually get smoked like you did against Penn State or against Michigan when you lost 8-1 or when you lost against Michigan State 6-2. And I got news for you. There's a good chance that you're going to get smoked again because you're playing Michigan State this weekend at Michigan State, and Michigan State is the number 1 team in college hockey. Oh, boy. So you better shape up and get your act together and play better, or you're going to get smoked. And if next week's show, when I do the updated Big Ten standings, I wouldn't be surprised if they got smoked again. I just wouldn't. So let's be better at hockey, Ohio State. I want to see better effort.
Yeah, you lost to freaking Notre Dame. How?
Right, yes, you were. Notre Dame was 0-13 in the Big Ten this season, and you lost to Notre Dame. And it's not only did you lose to Notre Dame, that you lost to Notre Dame, you got smoked 6-1.
Yeah, there should have been riots after that.
Yes. Anyways, so first things first, speaking of Jackson Smith, there is a picture from him of Jackson Smith from the game this past Friday. Of course, Penn State wearing these awesome old school throwbacks. And I like it. This is an awesome jersey, kind of old school looking white. And then the gloves and the pants, I really like that. That's my favorite here. What you thinking here, Lion?
Oh yeah, great jersey, great jersey.
Great jersey. So yeah, there's that. Let's see here. And then where isn't there's some more pictures that Penn State posted. What? Yeah, well, that's right. We'll get to more pictures that Penn State posted here. Okay. Hefty Doc will be on. His internet crapped out. So, got more pictures of Penn State posted of Jackson Smith. So, here we go. We're going to bam. So, right there. There's another picture of Jackson Smith right there. So, that's cool. Now, we are going to play the goal that Jackson Smith scored this past Friday. And it is a booming slap shot. And again, it's set up by Gavin Smith, it's set up by Gavin McKenna, who cooked Ohio State's ass. And in this game, at this point in the game, Penn State's on a power play 4-on-3, and they're up 9-4. And then Jackson Smith is going to make it 10-4.
9-4, terrible.
So Jackson Smith, he has the puck and passes it to Gavin McKenna. Gavin McKenna like this. Oh, maybe I shoot it. And
I don't know why my internet went out.
Okay. Well,
that's the way she goes. I have to get going here soon, but I can stick around for a while yet.
All right. So, yeah, we'll back this up so I can see this. So this is the goal that Jackson Smith scored. Penn State's up 9-4, 4-on-3 power play. So Jackson Smith has the puck. Kind of looks like he's going to shoot it. And nope, we're going to pass to Gavin McKenna. And looks like he's going to shoot it, but nope. Boom, slap shot, Jackson Smith score.
Good.
It is just an awesome goal by Jackson Smith. A booming slap shot, blows it by the Ohio State goalie. No chance. He's shaking his head there like, yep, I scored an awesome goal there. Yep, I know it. And as you can see there, Gavin McKenna also set a Big Ten record for most assists in a game with 7. So,
ouch.
Yeah, he
against the Ohio State University.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Gavin McKenna and Jackson Smith just cooked Ohio State's ass. But just really good. Just really, really good. And so here's the replay. Gavin McKenna and boom, slap shot. Jackson Smith blows it by the goalie. No chance. So anything to say here, Hefty Doc?
No, some sick skills from the one and only.
Anything to say here, Wine?
I mean, yeah, it's a really good shot. I mean,
Yeah.
Geez.
He just all right. Look at this. We'll one more time. We'll back this up. We go boom. Oh, gonna shoot it. You wanna shoot? Nope, no, I'm not. Slap shot.
This was a 4-on-3.
Yes.
Damn. And to our audio listeners, I don't know if Kevin mentioned it earlier, but the score with that goal is 10-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is hockey. not football.
Yeah, I bet Ohio State wishes it was football, don't they?
Yeah, then they could actually beat Penn State. You know, but can't do that in hockey. But boom, slap shot, Jackson Smith. And like the goals that we played on the show this season with Jackson Smith, those are the types of goals that he does. It's just booming slap shot. I'm going to blow it right past you. He's just that good. And what I like about Jackson Smith is that, and I'll take this off the screen here. So what I like about Jackson Smith is that he's big, he's physical, 6'4", I want to say 6'4", like 200 plus pounds, and he uses his physicality to just break up plays. He makes big hits. He's really good at skating. He's able to make big plays to get the puck out of the defensive zone. Obviously good on offense, booming slap shot. And it's like, yeah, as of right now, it looks like the Blue Jackets have a good one here with their first round draft pick. They may have gotten a steal here. So
Pretty sick.
All right, last couple of things for me here. Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom, who plays for Michigan State, had an awesome pass here to set up a goal. We're going to play that. So we're going to back this up here. So good play into the offensive zone. 26 in white. Going to pass to Caden Lindstrom right here. 28 in white. And Caden Lindstrom, he's going to make an awesome pass right here to the Michigan State player, and he's going to quickly shoot and score. Notre Dame really had no chance on this play. And look at that is a tight window. You got a guy right there and a guy right there. He gets it under the stick of that guy. And then the player from Michigan State is going to shoot it, score, no chance. Just an awesome play to set up a goal by Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom. So, anything to say here?
Not particularly. Sorry.
No. You got anything to say here, Wyatt?
Yeah, I mean, tight window, like you said.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So that is good. Good play here by Blue Jackets prospect Caden Lindstrom. Also, I really like these jerseys that Michigan State is wearing. That green really stands out. It pops.
That's pretty cool. It's for audio listeners, it's like a lighter shade of green than their normal, like foresty kind of green.
Yeah.
It's more of a Kelly green type green to it. Interesting.
I like it. I like it. What are your thoughts about this jersey, Wyan?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's an interesting color change.
Well, because you know what? Because I looked this up. You know what this is? This is based off of the national championship team that won in the 80s.
Gotcha.
That's what they wore back then.
Well, that makes sense. It's kind of cool trying to bring back the past.
Yeah. All right. So continue with the Big Ten theme. Ohio State women's hockey had a lot of Big Ten guys, Big Ten women on the Olympic team. The Golden Gophers, Minnesota, had 7 people who played in the Olympics for hockey, both men and women. A combined 7 between the men and the women for hockey in the Olympics for the Golden Gophers. So that is ridiculously good. And not surprised, because Minnesota is the state of hockey, and they're really good at hockey. And their hockey culture is awesome. I've been there up there for 3 games up there, and it's awesome. Hockey is everywhere, and I wish America had the hockey culture that Minnesota has, but maybe it'll, get there with the whole Olympics thing and all the hype and excitement that came out of that. So I had to share this, that Big Ten schools doing good. Michigan got some good representation at the Olympics. Ohio State got some good representation at the Olympics. And Minnesota, another Big Ten school, getting some good representation at the Olympics with 7 players playing for USA Hockey between the men and the women.
Very cool.
Last couple of things here. Olympics have to share this picture, a eagle wearing a USA Hockey jersey on top of a Canadian goose, kind of shoving his face into the ice. And pretty dang cool. Now, of course, this is the picture that Wine shared in Chris's Discord. What a great picture. Chris wasn't very fond of that because, he's not into the whole AI thing, but fine, whatever. I think that's kind of lame, but that's besides the point.
I got a little beef with it too.
Fun
images like this, I suppose.
No. You just got to use it right. I can see why people have some issues with it, but stuff like this, it's fun. It's used correctly, in my opinion. But no, that was a cool picture. Wine, where did you originally see this picture?
It was on the Big X.
Yes,
I find most of my photos.
Yep. See, Twitter, of course. That's where I found it too. Yep. So I think that is that it. Yeah, I'll put this up on. I'll put this up on this screen here. Check it out. There's Zach Werenski with the gold medal. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Zach Werenski with the gold medal.
Zach Werenski was awesome for Team USA.
Yes. Hey, I know they're kind of making fun of this, but like both teams got a stuffed animal sort of thing for that.
Which I don't really get, but
yeah, well, I don't get that either. But you know what? Hey, it's something else to remember. Hey, I got a silver medal. Hey, I got a gold medal. Oh yeah, I also got this stuffed animal thing.
That's pretty funny.
So I'm gonna check my bookmarks to see if there's anything else that I wanted to share. If not, we'll say our final things and get out of here. Let's see here. You know what? Let's see here. No. I got. You know what? Nah. I'll save that for a different time. No. I have nothing. Nothing. So, anyway, we're going to say our final stuff and get out of here. So, Wine, promote your stuff.
All right. I mean, it's pretty much the only stuff I got to promote is follow me on X/Twitter at Bruins Wine.
Yes.
And also subscribe to Brew Jackets on YouTube.
That's right. That's right. Wood Wine.
Yeah, I also would. That's my last promotion.
Yep. Always got to promote wood, Anyways, so good. Hefty Duck, let's get you in here and promote your stuff,
Absolutely. Like we said at the top of the show, or I said at the top of the show, we don't have any sponsors. I literally just don't like doing ad reads. I would put a little logo in the corner, I guess, if someone really wanted, but I don't want to do it. So the best way to support us is by sharing, subscribing wherever you're watching from. If you're watching on Twitter, go subscribe to us on YouTube. If you're on our YouTube, check us out on Twitter. I also do pay for the show. I am kind of the sponsor, so check me out at Lance Schrock Tattoos. As Kevin's bringing up, we had this pretty sick. I was featured here in a photo for the this past weekend's Cleveland Villain Arts Tattoo Convention. It was a pretty fun time. I got to meet a lot of cool people. Got to experience a lot of cool things. And in May, I will be down at. I might be at the Villain Arts Cincinnati one as well. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for coming out for that and whatnot. And check me out. Instagram, Lance Schrock Tattoos. But I think that's all for me.
What about your tattoo place you work at, Hefty Duck?
Oh yeah, I do work. I work at a place called Shatterproof Tattoo. We're in New Philadelphia, Ohio. It's a little north from Columbus by about an hour and a half or so. But we do a great little time. I have people traveling in from Michigan, from the Carolinas. I have people that travel in from all over to come in and get tattooed. So if you're in Ohio, it's not too far away. Hit me up. I'd love to hook it up.
Yeah.
Shit, there was one more thing I was gonna say. I totally am blanking on it real hard right now. Oh yeah. Join us again next week.
Sunday.
On Monday.
No, Sunday.
I can't do that.
The
I
Blue
have
Jackets.
tickets. I have tickets for some. We'll talk about it later because
The Blue Jackets play on a Monday. Well, then
we can do it Tuesday.
The Blue Jackets play on a Tuesday.
Well, maybe you'll do it on Sunday.
Okay. Well, I guess.
Sorry.
I guess I may have to do it. Well, I'm gonna need someone to do it with me on Sunday then, because
that's the way she goes. We'll talk about it afterwards. Anyway, we'll keep you posted on that on the time because
I might be able to on Sunday.
Yeah. Look, Wyan, I'm gonna. If you can do it next week, Wyan, I'm gonna need you. If you can, If not, that's okay too. But I'm gonna need someone to do it with me next week if Hefty Duck can't do it.
Well, see if I'm doing anything.
Like
Sunday,
I said, we can talk about it here in a little bit. We can end the show for now.
But yeah, check out Hefty Duck and his tattoos. All right. So I'll say my stuff. So like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Please tell your family. Please tell your friends. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as always, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc, the best of the best. What a guy. The life of the party. So fun to be with. I loved hanging out with you and talking with you, seeing you at family birthday parties and Thanksgiving and Easter and, Thanksgiving, like holidays like Thanksgiving, Easter, and Christmas, and family parties and birthdays and get-togethers and so much more. You unfortunately died in September 2024, but I miss you, man. I wish you're still here. You're a big hockey guy. I love talking hockey with you. the Blackhawks were your team. The Blue Jackets became your second favorite team, and I appreciate that. But wish you're still here so I could talk some hockey with you. And, you could talk to me about what you thought about the Olympics. What do you think about USA Hockey winning the gold medal? What do you think about, the Blackhawks season so far? You could tell me your thoughts on that, on how you think the Blackhawks are doing. And I would tell you my thoughts on how I think the Blue Jackets are doing. So a lot of fun. So shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. I wish you're still here so I could talk hockey with you. Shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Thank you for everything.
Rest in peace, Uncle Doc.
And of course, last thing, is first I got to give a shout out to the Crew. The Crew recently started their season. So soccer is back. Best of luck to the Crew this season. We'll be cheering you on. Go Crew. And as always, flip. Don't forget to check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. We do a lot of fun stuff like marches that bring Blue Jackets fans together to cheer on the Blue Jackets, where we march on the Nationwide Arena to cheer on the Blue Jackets. It's been on TV from ABC 6 News, Clay Hall, NBC4, Whitney Harding, to Adam King from 10 TV. He's done it twice. 97.1 The Fan, the Columbus Dispatch. It's been featured on the scoreboard at Blue Jackets games and so much more. So we have it for every Blue Jackets home opener, and if the Blue Jackets make the playoffs, we've done it for playoff games. So check out the Union Blue Soldiers March. It's a great time to be with your fellow Blue Jackets fans to cheer on the Blue Jackets. And check out Union Blue Soldiers. 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 So that's it for me, and we've said what's needed to be said, and we'll get out of here. We'll see you next time for next week's show. Bye now.
Bye.